I'm Luke Hutchinson.
And I'm Ollie Green.
We're going to be carrying on our work. This is the third part of our self-assessment, self-review of our pantomime homework, coursework. So, like I said before, it was a bit misleading on the questions where it said you and they. So we both did it together. We both answered the questions individually, but we've commented and added to the questions.
Yeah.
So this is the third part, which is
vocals.
Yeah, your vocal skills.
And we've got to grade ourselves on a scale from 1 to 10. 1 being like
Terrible,
really bad, and 10 being excellent. And we've got a little list of vocal skills that we need to grade ourselves on. So first is loudness. I'd say I'm probably about an 7 or 8 for loudness, because I think I could be louder, but if I were to go louder, then I think my voice would just end up, being,
well, you have to like shout, don't you?
Yeah.
So if you went too loud, it would really strain.
So I kind of, I stay loud because I'm King Rat, and so I need to have a loud voice because I'm the villain. I have to have a big presence. So I'd say I'm about an 8.
Yeah, I'd say I'm probably around a 7 because I want to be loud, but not too loud that I scare people. So yeah, I'd say my loudness, I could go up to 10. It's just I try and keep it just so it fits the character properly.
Because then if you need to shout, you can.
Yeah, then I can even boost it even more. I've got to make sure I'm loud so people can hear me, but then I can still shout. So if I'm angry, you can tell I'm angry.
Yeah. Next, emotion, tone, and pace are kind of as one. Emotion. There's not an awful lot of emotion shown in King Rat. Like I guess there is, but it's kind of anger emotion generally, or kind of like he's not kind of as emotional in the same way as other characters. I'd say, I don't know, maybe about a 6 or 7 for emotion, because there's not an awful lot to show. So it's generally kind of confusion or anger. And sometimes I don't know whether it's always so clear. So I don't know. I'll probably say it's 5, 6, 7 for that.
I'd say 7 because you do show a lot of emotion.
Yeah.
With it. Because you're angry a lot of the time. So I'd say 7.
Tone, pace. I think tone. I would say a 7 or 8. As I've got a good tone. And I need to have a very powerful, strong tone of voice to make sure I get across kind of the idea that I am King Rat. And pace, I've got to be quite slow to make sure it's clear, but make sure it's not too slow. And I'd say pace is probably about 7 as well. Yeah,
I'd say emotion probably around a 7 because I have to show my anger all the time. I have to show that sometimes I have to show that I'm a bit emotionless by being quite nasty to some of the characters. So sometimes I am. You can tell my emotion by what I'm doing. So I'd say around a 7 or 8. For my tone, I'd sound quite well on tone. So probably around a 7 because of the singing, what we have to do, and so that helps you keep your tone.
You've got a good accent, and that's also it kind of strengthens it. So I think you've got a good tone.
And the pace, I'd say I might need to slow down a bit in some places because I do speak a bit fast sometimes.
Yeah.
I probably think I'm speaking fast in this video. I do speak quite fast. So, yeah, definitely need to work on the pace. Probably about 6.
Yeah, probably say 5 or 6, something around there.
Yeah.
Okay, next is rhythm. For my character, King Rat, there is almost, in some ways, there's a set rhythm because my lines, they all rhyme. So there has to be a kind of a set kind of sometimes little pauses to make sure you know which word is going to rhyme with the next line. I'd say probably about a 7 on that as well. That's kind of that's kind of incorporated with pace. I think really the rhyming. So probably about 7.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd probably say around a 7 as well. Because you have to keep quite a well rhythm doing it, making sure you're not saying your lines too quick. Like I said before, in pace, I think I can slow down words, but I think I say them at the right time, usually. So Yeah, I'd say my rhythm's alright for the character, which would be, so I'd say about a 7.
Pausing, I think I can work on it a lot because in some places I think I've got the hang of it and it works well. For example, in the prologue at the start of Act 1, I've got all the pauses there pretty well sorted. But then it's in some other scenes that I think I could just work on them a bit better. So I'll probably say I'm maybe about 5 for them for pause.
Yeah, I'd say I'm about a 6, 7 because I had to do a lot of pauses in mine. Like when I stand in poo in one of the scenes, scene 8, and I have to pause and wait a second, and then like in the same scene, someone says makes a joke about a pension instead of tension, so I have to pause for a minute and look at her confused. So I'd say probably around a 7 in that.
Yeah, I would agree with that because you've got that. It's a kind of a
There's a lot
comic
more
effect
pauses,
as well. It adds comic effect, and I think the pauses are very good. So
Yeah.
really, yeah, 7 or 8. Next is accent dialect. My accent, I think it could be improved quite a bit because when I first started doing it, some of the feedback I got was that I often went into a posh tone. Actually, I meant to be kind of more of a common northern accent. So I need to work on that quite a bit, I'd say. So probably about maybe a 4 or 5.
Yeah.
Maybe 4, 5, 6.
Yeah.
That's 5.
So around 5, yeah.
Yeah.
Her accent, I'm the same. I need to work on my accent. When I'm meant to be a pirate who's like sound quite piratey, I do the same into quite a posh accent when I don't know what word. When I don't know how to say a word in that accent, I'll kind of go a bit more high pitched. Or when I need to go high pitched, it'll make me go into a different accent.
Yeah,
I'd say
when you know what you're doing, you have a really good strong accent, but it's just some little areas need working on. So sometimes it would be high and sometimes it's below. So overall,
yeah, I'd say around a 6,
5, 6.
5, 6, yeah. Diction.
Don't really know what to say for that.
Diction is how you can actually hear how well you pronounce your words.
For King Rat, often diction is key actually because some words like you can pronounce all of the letters to make it really kind of powerful. Make sure it's got power behind it. You can pronounce the letters. So diction is important. I'd say about a 7 or 8 behind that. For that.
I'd say around 5 or 6 for me, purely because sometimes you can get confused with what I'm saying. So I do need to work on my diction probably sometimes, just so you can hear me a bit better. Cause sometimes I do sound a bit muffled.
Next is pitch. I'd say my pitch is quite good. It's generally quite low and gruff for King Rat to kind of imply his evil villain side. So I'd probably say I'm about 7 for that. Because sometimes I think I could be a bit more evil and even more deep. I'm not quite as good as I could be, but I wouldn't say I'm too bad. So about 7 or 8 for
that. For me, I'd probably say around 7 or 8, same, because I have to use a large range of pitch. Like I go quite high pitch sometimes, and that's part of being the captain. So yeah, I'd say pitch around 6, 7, because I have to show my authority. But sometimes I get a bit stressed out and have to go. And I even start crying at one point, so I have to hide my voice to show that I'm crying. So you have to use a lot of pitch.
Next is fluidity. If you didn't know that, I think my speech is quite fluid because again, all my lines they rhyme because I'm King Rat, so they have kind of got a certain flow to them, and I think I've got quite a good flow for that. And adding in pauses, but to make sure it still works is quite good. So I'll say for fluidity, I'm probably about 7 or 8 again.
Yeah, I'd probably say I'm around a 6 because some things do get rushed in Captain Cuttle's performance. During this performance, it's just a bit. I need to slow down a bit while doing it. To make it a bit more fluent, so you can just understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, apart from the pace, otherwise it's good. You've got a nice kind of flow to the way your lines. It's just a bit fast sometimes.
Yeah, so I just need to slow down a bit.
Comedy timing. There's not an awful lot in King Rat's bit for comedy timing I can think of right now. There might, I guess, something that might be quite comical is when I some of the speeches I give. For instance, when I'm telling off Norbone and Nashvan for capturing Sarah the cook instead of Alice, I bang their heads together, and that could be done as quite a comical scene. But I think it would need work on to make it proper comical. But like I said, there's not an awful lot of comedy in King Rat's part, so I'm not really sure. That.
About 5 because there's not much, is it?
Yeah,
you could do it. You can do it when it's there, but it's not much of it, is there?
So yeah, maybe 5, I guess.
Yeah, I'd say same for me. Probably just comedy timing. It's there is a lot of comedy timing. Captain Gut's performance where he stands in poo, like I mentioned before, and you have to wait for a minute before you smell it, and then ask actually what's going on. So you have to add your pauses and your time into it. Because if I just rushed into it and it says what's that, it wouldn't be funny. You've got to really like.
I'll say you kind of nailed that timing pretty well though, because like there's a what? Probably confused face and everything. So I think you've got that quite well.
So yeah, probably around a 7 or an 8, I'd say for that.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of comedy timing in it, so you can work a lot on it.
Yeah.
Action plan or?
Yeah. Action plan. For me, I think what I need to work on the most is accents. That's probably top of the list really for me. To do that, I'm going to research northern accents. Someone I know who off the TV is Lee Mack. He's a comedian and often jokes about himself being northern. So I'm going to research him and see whether I can get any kind of hints or inspiration for my accent off him. And then I'll also see whether I can find anyone else with a northern accent. I'll do that at home because I'll need the internet and YouTube, and also because I don't think I can do that at college. So I'll do that at home in the evening after college.
Yeah, I'd say it'd probably be rhythm for me. Or maybe pace, I'd say, in fact. I just need to make sure I slow down my words when I'm saying it, so I'm clear enough for the audience and so the scene flows properly. Yeah. So it's probably the pace for me. So for that, I'm going to just concentrate a lot more on slowing down and just practice my lines, but work on slowing them down properly.
You could almost
breaking
like
down.
Set a metronome.
Yeah, set a metronome.
Have something so that a constant pace, so you're sticking to it.
Yeah. So I don't just keep going through my lines, but don't just rush through reading them to learn them. Actually go through them slowly, so I learn it slow.
Yeah.
And yeah, probably the same with my accent as well. Because I just need to work on that, so I don't slip into a kind of posh one. And yeah, so
target. I guess my target is to complete the action plan and have a good accent. Whether it is really northern, but I think we're going for more a common accent. But northern would be good. Basing it on a northern accent, kind of from Manchester or something. So yeah, my target is to have a good common accent, and I think that yeah, it's accent for me.
Yeah, for me it'd probably just my target's to make sure I can slow down and don't rush things just to make sure. So that'd be my main target really, is to work on my accent, certain parts, and also just make sure I stay slow with my words so I don't speed through things too much. So that's my main things really.
Yeah.
Yeah. Vocal. Well, yeah.
Okay.
We're going to be showing you just because this is the vocal part. A couple of things that we have to do. It's in our vocal warm-ups to make sure you can actually project properly. So firstly, to warm up, we lower it down a bit and stand back.
So
Stand a bit back.
should we go for
You need to make sure you stood straight. Your feet are shoulder width apart. And your hands
neutral?
so you're neutral, yeah.
And then something we've done with Georgina is to warm up our vocal cords. We stretch them, but instead of going straight into sudden notes, so da da da, you slow it. So you start low, go to high, and go back down again. So you go la, and then you can base it around a vowel. So you might go R or A, O. So one of the vowels, and that just slowly stretches your vocal cords and warms them up that way. And then you can go into stage, you go ah.
So it gives you not just a scale like that, it actually gives you the in-between as well. So you're not just jumping and straining them too much, you're actually giving it a bit of that loosening your vocal cords more, so they're able to give the perfect scale rather than it slipping.
Yeah.
So if we're going to do an example one, we'll go with the first one first.
R. So you go
Ah. So O. Okay.
And then you can go up through all the 5 vowels if you need, because then you're giving your vocal cords a variety of different like sounds, but also it gives a greater length of time for doing. So they get longer and warm up.
Also, as well as what Sam and the lecturers and the directors have taught us is to use your diaphragm to become louder without straining your voice and shouting. So to locate it, use palm of your hand, it's the top of your ribcage just below your chest. And if you breathe out like push, like ha, 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 you can feel it. You can feel it come out, and that's when you know you're using your diaphragm. So you need to loosen off your shoulders. So
something you can do to make sure you're breathing from your diaphragm is put your hands on, breathe in and make sure your belly's going out, not your chest is going out.
Yeah.
So you breathe in and breathe out. And then so that make sure you are
so
using
you
your
can
diaphragm.
be A. Yeah. So we breathe in for A, you hold, and then we'll be saying the vowels, but making sure you use the diaphragm. So we breathe in. Hold. And out.
A-E-I-O-U.
So you can feel your diaphragm push out. That's what we've been taught by directors and lecturers and things like that. We've also been taught a song that we have to do before a singing lesson.
This is a
Come a bit closer.
like a song. Yeah, you can use your hand. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if you've got 6 beats in the bar, each finger is 1 apart from the last one. So you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this one's 2. So you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. And so then you've got it ends up with 2 on the third finger.
So then it's like 4, 5, 1, 2, 3. 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, and then I'll carry on saying. So if we go from the beginning, then we'll come through it. So it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
And then you're just,
and that's the end because you've got back to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
So it's kind of a nice length of time to do a song in, and you can.
And it's also practicing your scales.
Yeah.
And it's giving you concentration by going through your fingers, so it's confusing your brain. So it's warming up your brain to make sure you're ready and prepared for the song.
Yeah.
It's also going through your scales. that's the main objective I go through these days. So that's it for the vocal side, and that's it for the self-review. So it's Luke Hutchinson and
Ollie Green.